Derek Sheridan from Rust Belt Basketball Coaches Network and Basketball Nexus website. Thank you for joining us this evening. We are stoked on just a quick 24-hour turnaround. We have Coach Tony Bisutti from Bishop Reedy High School from the great city of Columbus in the great state of Ohio joining us as he has just amassed his 500th win. And for those of you who have ever coached, that's something we all dream about when we're young assistant coaches, hitting that milestone. And then once we get into the game, especially once we get our first head coaching jobs, we find out real fast how difficult it is to win basketball games when you are in the Rust Belt. I don't care if you're in Western PA, Indiana, of course, or Ohio, Illinois, Wisconsin. Those are just tough places to win high school basketball games. And Coach has made his career in the Columbus area where high school athletics are just unbelievably good. So, Coach, thank you so much for joining us. And again, congratulations on this accomplishment. And I can't wait to talk to you and get this out so John Q. Public knows what kind of accomplishment that Coach Tony Bisutti has just conquered.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be with you, and appreciate all the accolades that have come in. And it's been quite a journey. So we can talk about it here a little bit.
Great. Well, let's just start off with that, Coach. Let's talk about Coach Bisutti's journey in his coaching life.
I started as an assistant in my alma mater, Columbus DeSales, back in the mid '80s, and had the opportunity to work under the legendary coach who mentored me greatly, Vince Ciccarella, Hall of Famer, was the head coach at Capital University. Almost got the Ohio State job back in the late '70s. That could have been a unique twist for me. But anyway, we won the state championship in 1987, and Coach Chick moved on to another job, and I got the sales job at that point at the ripe old age of 25. Which doesn't happen to too many guys. So right place, right time. Was at DeSales for 6 years. Went to New Philadelphia, Ohio for a couple years. Coached in the Federal League, very tough league. Then we opened Dublin Scioto High School in 1995. So I had, in that short a time, I had the opportunity to come off the heels of a state championship as a head coach, try to rebuild a program as a head coach, and open a brand new program from the ground floor as a head coach, which was also kind of unique and cool. So we had a lot of success at Scioto, had a lot of really good players. Dublin is kind of a hotbed, and I ended up stepping out of the game for about 5 years. My son was in college on the team at Ohio University. Bishop Reedy opened. My daughters went to Reedy. I had some connections there. Literally sitting on the beach in Florida, interviewing for the Reedy job, and took the Reedy job. And this is my 8th year there. And we've had a lot of good players there also, a lot of success.
If you're looking for an easy and affordable way to purchase all of your sporting good needs, look no further than Game One, located in Swanton, Ohio. I've worked with LJ Archambault for 20 years, and I have never worked with a more honest, punctual, and detail-oriented sporting goods salesman. I coached for nearly 3 decades and in 2 different states, and have never worked with a better organization than Game One, and more importantly, a better person than LJ Archambault. It's always game on at Game One.
Yes, and we were talking prior to hitting the record button about how you have recently switched leagues. Could you talk about that just a little bit, please?
Yes. So this is our 3rd year. We were in the Central Catholic League, and we were by far the smallest league in the school. And long story short, we were competing in boys basketball. I mean, we won the league a couple years. Actually, won the last 2 years we were in it, but our other sports were having a hard time competing. Football had been out of the league for several years. So the school administration just decided to make the move got the okay from the diocese. So we are now in the Central Buckeye League. And we sometimes play CCL schools in our sports still and try to keep that connection. Yeah, it's kind of bittersweet a little bit. The Friday night CCL games were awesome. The atmospheres were awesome. Not that our current league isn't. It's just a little different. Of course, the traditionalists miss it a lot, but I kind of understand from the administration point of view that we were just having a hard time competing in so many other sports.
Now, is Reedy co-educational or is it male only?
It's co-ed. Got about 400 total students, boys and girls total.
So you would by
we
far be the
Division 5.
right.
Take competitive balance out of the equation.
Right.
We might have been 4 in football this year, but we're Division 5.
So when you were in the CCL, you were by far the smallest team. There's not even a team in there close to that small.
Not even close. Just a big difference. And of course, football felt it had the most impact, because of the physicality. And they always played one CCL school every year, and I think they still do. But they were not in the league rankings, and they kind of were with the CBL playing those teams, and that's kind of like how the partnership formed.
Who are the other teams in the Central Buckeye Conference?
Okay, so you have Columbus Academy, who we were 24-3 last year, and our 3 losses were at Academy. They beat us in the regional final after we won the district. So Columbus Academy, Bexley, Buckeye Valley, Whitehall. Oh, geez, my mind's blanking out. Worthington Christian. I know Columbus School for Girls on the girls' side is also in. So it's a good conference, from a competitive standpoint. You do have Franklin Heights just joined also the last year. They left the OCC, so Grandview's in there. So you have some smaller schools, some kind of intermediate smaller schools, if you will. So it's a nice conference. It's a good basketball conference.
Yeah, Grandview's I love that gym.
Yeah.
You talk about having a home court advantage.
I'm actually going there tonight, I think, to scout. So yeah, it's always cozy there.
Absolutely. Tell us about your roster, Coach. Who do you have this year?
Well, we only have 3 seniors and 2 who are in the mix. Marco Small and Caleb Bridges, 2 guards. Marco's a dynamic defender for us. He's like a 5'11" Swiss Army knife. Does a little bit of everything for us. He's kind of a wing point. He's just one of those guys that if you watch him, you're like, what does he do well? Then after a few minutes, you're like, well, what does he do wrong? He really does a little bit of everything. Our point guard is back from last year. We're really junior heavy. Mike Daniels is our point guard. He's a little, 5'9", extremely quick, controls the game a lot. Our post kid is Austin Batcheres. He's a 6'6". He's an inside outside good 3-point threat. We kind of play that in out with him a lot. We have a couple other juniors, Zay Taliaferro, just an explosive guard. We're really small on the perimeter. Like we're 5'9", 5'10", 5'10". Then we have 6'6" inside. We have a couple 6'3" foremen. We're still trying to develop our bench. We got a freshman in the mix, Cam Schaefer, pretty good shooter. And he's one of the 3 Schaefer boys who have played for me. And it's a great basketball family. His 2 older brothers are both at Walsh University. Cam's going to have a nice career, I'm sure, by the time it's all done.
If you want to help us grow, if you enjoy our content, please like,
share, subscribe, and leave us comments on our social media postings. That helps us grow our small coaches network more than you could ever know. Thank you so much. And the Schaefer boys are shooters, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Caleb, he's a junior at Walsh. He's a 6'5" catch and shoot guy, kind of a wing forward. Caden's a little more athletic. Caden graduated last year, about 6'4". Yeah, he's probably the quickest, most athletic. He was a really good lockdown defender for us on the perimeter. It's kind of nice having a 6'4" guy that can move to put on other team shooters. We don't really have that this year, so we're trying to figure out other ways. And Cam's more like his oldest brother. He's a shooter for sure.
And Dad was a shooter, if my memory serves correct.
I know Dad was a baseball guy. I really haven't got into the basketball conversation with him a whole lot. He was a baseball guy here, and he knows a lot of my friends that coach baseball, because I coached some baseball early on, and played in college, and but it's a good family.
Where did you play college baseball?
I went to Bethany College and played there, and I was a catcher. I played at DeSales. We won the state in 1979, state championship my senior year. I was a catcher, and then went to Bethany, played basketball. Baseball was probably more of my thing in college. Converted me to an outfielder. We had another guy come in from Florida that was a pretty good catcher, but luckily I could hit a little bit, so kept me in the lineup.
Similar story to someone I'm sure you know, Jim Ruckey.
I know Jim. Yes.
Jim was a heck of a baseball player at Muskegon.
Okay, that's right. I knew that, and Jim was at Findlay, right? I think he got out a couple years ago or years.
Yeah, he just got his nod into the OHSBCA Hall of Fame.
Nice. Well deserved.
Yes, sir.
Did it a lot of years.
Yeah, he most certainly did, and there's no finer gentleman. I coached in Indiana and Ohio in head coaching capacities, and there's no finer gentleman than Jim Ruckey.
For sure. Agree.
Well, Coach, tell us just a little bit about your X and O's. What do you do defensively? What do you do offensively?
I'll start defensively because that's where I usually start with, and that's, I think, what people would identify with me. We kind of hang our hat on being pretty hard nosed, and a lot of things most coaches would probably say. I got a note from a friend today who ran into some people from Reedy, and he asked them to describe me. It was kind of funny that you're bringing this up, and they all to a person said old school. And we were man-to-man base, but we will change defenses. This team I have needs to do that. Team I had a couple years ago got to the Final Four. We just dug our heels in and said, we were so good in our man-to-man that we didn't have to change a whole lot. We'll pressure a little bit full court. We're probably this team actually a little more because we have pretty good quickness. So I guess I just try to adapt each year, and tweak our schemes a little bit. At the defensive end, we still run shell drill 15 to 20 minutes a day, every day. And that's what we've kind of hung our hat on, and our guys have bought into that from a defensive standpoint. Offensively, we've been a Princeton program, running to Princeton. We like to get out and go, like most teams do. And this year I've kind of loosened that rope a little bit with this team because of our quickness and trying to create on the break. So, again, from year to year, we have some secondary stuff we run in between before we get, from full court to half court. In our half court, we're a little set heavy. I wish we were a little better with our motion right now. We're not. It's something we're trying to get to, but Princeton has been our base, and then we run, a fairly heavy amount of specials and counters off of that.
Very good. So in your man-to-man defense, do you guys switch? Do you stay? Is it up the line, on the line, kind of an old school man-to-man, or is it more of a pack line?
The answer is yes. The answer is yes to all that. So we're kind of a hybrid a little bit. There have been, like, for the last several years, I've really been matchup based with our philosophy. We don't want to switch.
For an athlete, few things are worse than having to compete on a slick surface. Well, my friends Tom Rose and Matt Olin have solved this conundrum by creating Grip Spritz. Grip Spritz offers a wide array of shoe-to-court traction products that are not only highly effective, but also affordable, easy to use, and easy to transport. It's no wonder Grip Spritz has become the official traction solution for the Ohio High School Basketball Coaches Association and the National High School Basketball Coaches Association. Take it from me, if the OHSBCA and the NHSBCA are making Grip Spritz their official court cleaning product, Grip Spritz simply has to be the best on the market.
We have areas of the floor, for example, with ball screening, how we manage it, whether we're hard, whether we're soft. And I realize that's asking a lot out of guys. Like, I've had people tell me you're too complicated. And I'm like, we can do it if we work it, and we're going to take the time to work it. So I'm a little stubborn like that. We are switching more this year because I have 3 little dudes out there that, they're just quick, they can do it, and it really doesn't matter a whole lot. But again, we're not switching 5 positions or anything like that. We try to keep matchups for the most part. A lot of our keys on whether we're up the line or in gaps will come with our scouting report and who has the ball in their hands. And we are way more up the line this year and last year than we have been. Like 2 years ago, the Final 14, we were strong pack line with good ball pressure, and nobody could get through us. So again, I try to be as adaptable as possible, on that end of the court with our personnel.
Well, with 400 kids, I think you have to be.
For sure.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I myself, in the early 2000s, for 5 years, we were Princeton. It was before I knew of any other high school programs who were doing it. We got to spend a weekend with Jerry O'Brien, who was a Pete Carrill guy.
Okay.
And we had watched hours, which is a whole different story in itself. It involved Rick Majerus, all kind. It was just crazy back then with the VHS tapes.
Right.
Anyway, so I have a lot of respect for that offense.
So with us, to piggyback on what you're saying there, we started it at Scioto so my assistant, who became the head coach of Scioto after me, Mike Moeller, played for Jim Burson at Muskingum. Jim had a crew of guys, and one of the guys was still located in Central Ohio, who kind of were the Princeton gurus in this area, so to say. Mm-hmm. And we kind of went to school on it there. Coach Mueller ran it in college when he was there, and we decided to go to it. And we were able to run it true some years when we had that post kid stepping out who could do multiple things. And like for us at Reedy, that's what Caleb Schaefer was. I mean, he was that guy. If you got a guy that can shoot and pass, man, it's golden. But if you don't, then you're kind of limited some.
Brad Morrison and Danny's Cafe, located in beautiful Rossford, Ohio. Danny's Cafe is the ultimate spot for a family-friendly breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or a night out with friends to watch your favorite high school, college, or pro team. Danny's Cafe offers an incredible food experience for people with varying types of palates, and the service is fast and provided by the most hospitable staff in Northwest Ohio. The next time you're on the hunt for a place to grab a bite or cheer on your favorite team, head to Danny's Cafe, located directly across the street from Rossford High School.
When I got the Maumee job, this was the biggest school I had ever coached at. We found out after our first open gym in the summer that Princeton is not going to be a good fit. Those huge football players who just had a fantastic experience playing under John Bowles, our football coach. And I knew right away I was never going to get these guys to love basketball, but they love to compete. So we went right back to blocker mover.
Yeah, get your sets ready.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Coach, tell us about your postseason. What sectional do you anticipate being in, and who do you see being contenders in Division 5 in your area?
Division 5 is truly one of, with all the dilution of the multiple divisions in our area, and I feel like you could almost say this statewide if you look at the D5, the heavy hitters that are in D5. Like in our area, there's us, there's Columbus Academy, who got, to the Final Four last year, or to the state championship, lost to Lutheran East, I think. There's Harvest Prep, who has tradition out of the years. There's Afrocentric, who has tradition, and that's what we're dealing with when we get, semifinal bound. Now, on top of that, although they've been down to last year, you got a program like Worthington Christian, who's had, reputation and success. When you go back, you have a team like, I'll say, Fredericktown, who was 18-5 last year and we beat them in the semis last year. They have all 5 starters back off an 18-win team. So I don't, usually you get an easy game like in a round or two. I don't know that that's going to happen this year. So it's our bracket will be pretty loaded, with, I think it was 14 teams last year. I assume it's going to be about the same. And it's just one district bracket here is how it's done. So still have to win, 3 games. Like, I don't know what it's like up there where you are, but D1 and D2, I mean, there's 1-2 game district brackets.
Yes.
Because of the number of teams.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I kind of wish it would have stayed the same, but I understand it. And it is what it is at this point, right?
Yes, exactly. So, Coach, looking at your schedule holistically, who have you seen that is the best team that you've said, okay, this team right here is definitely the best team we're going to have to prepare for?
Well, the team we played last night was one of those, and it was Lima Central Catholic.
Okay. Yes.
Who, boy, they were really good, and we're coming off a league game Friday, an intense league game, or I'm sorry, Saturday. And then we're playing them last night, Sunday, in the the holiday hoopla at the Greater Columbus Convention Center, right downtown. And we're down 13 at one point. We ended up finding a way, and we won by 2. We took the lead with 1:30 left, and then they tied it, and then we won it with 2 seconds left, and it was a thriller. So they were certainly a challenge. They have a good team. They're well coached. At Division 6, up where they're at, I got to feel they'll be formidable in their tournament. Columbus Academy will be a handful for us because they just have so much size. I mean, their point guard Jason Singleton, 6'6". He's going to Harvard. His dad played at Ohio State. You might remember, also named Jason. And they have a football kid that's 6'5", going to Northwestern. He's a 3-year guy. Heck, they had a 6'8" guy in street clothes last night. So they're just, and then they have another 6'7" guy. So there's just a lot of size to deal with them, and they're athletic. So Academy will definitely be strong, and we have yet to play them. So we got them coming up January 3rd. Grandview Heights, I'm going to go see them tonight. They had a coach's son, Coach Pearson, who was at Marion Harding. He got out of it, and his son went back to his home school, which is Grandview, and his son, Boston Pearson, phenomenal player. So he automatically, makes Grandview a lot better. So, with him, they now go 6'6", 6'5", 6'5", And he might be their point guard. I don't know. I'm going to find out tonight, but he's a really good player and will bring a new element to their team. You know, we play Hamilton Township, who has a lot of people back too. We play them like at the end of the regular season before the tournament, and did that with purpose because that'll be a high intense game for us. They have a lot of tremendous athletes. Yeah, you know, our schedule. We played St. Charles a couple weeks ago. They beat us. Really sound team from the Catholic League. We had beaten them the last couple of years, but they got us this year and kind of opened our eyes to some things. So you know how that goes. I mean, it's not the end of the world, and hopefully you learn something from it and you keep going.
Exactly. Well, Coach, thanks so much for your time.
Yeah.
And Godspeed the rest of your season. And again, what a great accomplishment. 500 wins. That's just something that is, as we were talking about before we hit the record button, that is just rare air.
It's not what you planned when you get in it, let me tell you. And you hit the nail on the head, Al. I don't think the everyday person really understands how hard this is, and you know what you have to, the hurdles you have to get over. But we've created something at Reedy that I'm kind of proud of, in that, you know, and last night was a perfect example of that we're just going to keep going and not give in, and next guy up, and whatever you want to say that sounds cliche-ish, but we're trying to live that. So
yep.
I feel our guys will. That's
good stuff. Well, Coach, again, Godspeed the rest of the season, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Derek.
I've been shopping for Christmas, and you know, I'm trying to find a gift for my basketball coach, and I can't find anything. He's got everything. Do you have any ideas?
Well, have you ever heard of the Basketball Nexus website? It is loaded with videos that coaches can use, and right now there's a Christmas promotion.
Perfect. I think that sounds right up his alley.
It's a gift he'll definitely use.
The one I've seen, it's my favorite. See your reflection on the